I want to talk to you today about the priority of prayer. We're in this season where I believe what we need to do is pray. And as I prayed about the message this weekend, I was reminded of a time about 10 years ago when I felt like that the enemy was attacking more. That's the phrase I was using. I feel like the enemy is attacking more. And I don't know if you thought that, if you thought the attacks of the enemy are increasing. And so I was in with a friend of mine, Dr. Jim Morocco, and I was telling him, I feel like that the attacks of the enemy are increasing. And he said something to me that changed my life. He said, I think you're giving Satan too much credit. And I thought, wow, what a statement. And he said to me, Robert, if you're going to blame Satan when things are bad, then are you going to thank him when things are good? I mean, which one is it? And I got to thinking about that. I got to thinking, well, so if I feel like that I'm in a season where he's not attacking as much, should I send him a gift basket or, thanks for decreasing your attacks. So we're not in a season where Satan is attacking more. We're in a season where Satan is attacking. And it's been since the garden. He's always attacking. But what might be happening is that many of his attacks are landing more. And the only reason that happens is because the people of God are praying less. So I want you to think about this. We need to pray, and things change when we pray. God has given us the power of prayer. This is very important to understand. Satan has been building strongholds in America for years. For years. But we as believers can come against those strongholds in prayer. God can reveal those strongholds to us. I want to just take one stronghold that Satan has been working on in America, because America was founded, and you can look it up. William Bradford stood on Plymouth Rock and said, we found this nation for the propagation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Is it a perfect nation? By far, no. No way. Absolutely not. No way, okay? But it was founded where all were created equal. This is what they put. All are created equal by their creator and endowed with certain inalienable rights by their creator. Life, liberty, which should be freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, obviously, we've been on a long road in that area. I understand that. But America was founded for the right purpose. And it's the longest running government in the history of the world. Most governments have an average of 15 to 20 years. And we're over 240 now. So it's incredible because it was founded, not perfectly, please don't hear me say that, not perfectly, very imperfectly by imperfect humans. But the principles were right. So Satan has been trying to tear down, because this is freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly. That's the First Amendment. First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly, to assemble. So Satan's been trying to tear down freedom. So I just want to say one stronghold, and you need to understand, because some of you might tend toward saying we need to be a little more this way, but I want to just beg you, plead with you to study it. And here's a stronghold that Satan has been working on our nation, and that's socialism. 30%. 30% of Americans under the age of 35 say they're in favor of socialism. 98% of those that say they're in favor could not define it. Could not define it. And their definition was wrong, whatever they said. The number one tenet of socialism, just study it, simple. Number one tenet is no private property. No private property. The young people who are saying they're in favor of it are talking on their cell phones. No private property, none. And this is what they feel like that it stands for. This is what their number one answer: free education and free medical help. Free education, free medicine. Let me tell you why that's a lie. It's not free. It's not free. Most socialist countries, tax rate 57%. I don't know what you make, just do it in your head, but just do 50% to make it easy math. If you make $50,000, do you want to pay $25,000 in taxes? That's called free education. And that's called free medical. It's free. By the way, this free education, in socialist countries, the government tells you how far you can be educated by testing you. So if you don't test high enough, they can say, no, you don't get to go to college. You're going to be a factory worker. That's socialism. Socialism has never worked in any nation in the world. There are a few nations now that say they're still under a socialistic government, but what they did, listen to what they did. They allowed individuals to own property and to have business. That's called capitalism. Capital. Capital, this comes from the word. Capitalism comes from the word capital. It means property. It's the only way it works anywhere in the world. So it's not socialism. There are so many lies about it, and I'm not going to preach the whole message on it. But just so you know, the only countries in the world that have experienced genocide are communist nations. The only ones. And every communist nation in the world has had genocide. If you don't know what genocide is, it's the killing of people who are different from you, different race, different religion, or disagree with you ideologically. That's what genocide is. In 100 years, in 4 communist nations, they killed, conservative estimates, over 100 million people. And here's what's bothering me. 50 years ago, I'm 59. 50 years ago, when I was 9 years old, we could pray in our schools. We started every morning saying we believe in one nation under God. And we did not allow abortions. Now, not only do people not believe that life begins at conception, now, if you read it, all you gotta do is read it, they believe that it doesn't even begin at birth, it begins when the doctor certifies you. So if a baby is born with a physical or mental defect, they could say, we can terminate this life. So that's happened in the last 50 years. What's going to happen in the next 50? And here's the amazing thing. Please hear me. A lot of people are feeling like, well, it's not going to happen for a long time. The most descriptive verse in the Bible of selfishness is in Isaiah 39. It's when Isaiah goes to Hezekiah and pronounces judgment. And he says, here's what's going to happen. Your children and grandchildren are going to go into bondage. And Hezekiah's response was, well, at least there'll be peace in my days. That's sad when Christians say, well, I know what's going to happen to my grandchildren, but I'm not going to do anything about it. We've got to stand up and we've got to do something about it. And the number one thing we can do is pray. That's the number one thing we can pray. I can remember a time when I slacked off in my prayer life. And I said to the Lord, why? Why have I slacked off in my prayer life? You know what he said? Because these problems that you're in your life right now, you don't want to think about them. Out of sight, out of mind. So you don't even want to pray about them because then you have to think about them. But then he said to me, son, I did not design prayer to put a burden on you. I designed prayer to take a burden off of you. So you're not going to get more stressed out when you pray about stuff. You're going to get more stressed out when you don't pray about stuff. because you're still carrying the burden. You can only carry a burden as a believer to Jesus' feet. That's as far as you can carry it. And I've told you this before, but it bears repeating. We're sheep. Sheep are not burden-bearing animals. You've never heard anyone say, I'm going on a safari, I need to rent some pack sheep. We weren't designed for that. Look at this verse. I don't even know where I am. Okay, here it is. Philippians 4:6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Okay, be anxious for nothing. Have anxiety. Let me say it this way. Don't have anxiety over a worldwide pandemic. That's what he just said. Be anxious for nothing. Have no anxiety. How are you going to have no anxiety? Pray. So, be anxious for nothing. How are we going to do that, God? Pray about everything. Be anxious for no thing. How? Pray about everything. You just pray about everything, and you'll be anxious for no thing. Remember the word nothing, combination, 2 words, no thing. Everything, combination, 2 words, everything. Some of you are like, that's good. If you have any anxiety about what's going on in America right now and the world, pray. Pray.